Guys, welcome back to the channel. We are doing another video on this Z425 lawnmower that we've been using for quite a while, and she is showing signs of age. If you have one of these and you start hearing a squeaking noise as you're driving, as you're mowing, it's likely not a belt. It could be a pulley on the belt, could be a few things, but often it is just the bearings in the front wheels and tires. They are non-greasable generally if they're stock. And so they just wear out over time between all the dirty grass and water that gets put in them. So if you take these things off, it's just a big old nut and bolt that holds them on. I think these are 3/4. No, these are 7/8, I believe. Once you take it off, if you're like mine, the bearings will just fall out with no actual bearings. I knocked this part out. I'll show you all that in a second, but here's the inner races. And you can see they're just trashed. These aren't serviceable. You have to replace them. Obviously, you'd want to replace this anyway. But these are just simple, what do they call them? Service bearings? Not service bearings. These are just simple bearings you can get from Tractor Supply or Home Depot. These are 5/8 hole with a, what is it, 1 3/8 diameter. It has that lip on it. And so there's the new bearing. Don't forget you have to hammer this race out. And that race is just sitting in there. If you just put a screwdriver to the back of it and give it some taps around the sides, it should just pop right on out of there. If you're anything like mine, this one got a little damage. I'm gonna have to file that a little bit and get that back square, get that little lip off of there. That way the new bearing will go in. That's how long that had been running like that. It actually damaged the rim. There's a shaft that goes through there, so don't lose that when you pull it out. So guys, I just used a cross-cut file to clean up that edge. And I'm going to just grab some axle grease or some bearing grease. Put it in here. Watch the burrs, don't cut yourself. If you find any burrs, just go ahead and knock them down with that file. This is a sealed bearing. It's called a maintenance bearing. And it should be good. I'm still going to put a little grease around it. Never hurt anything to put extra grease. I'm just going to pack it in there and roll it around, then I'll tap it in. What I should be able to do is just put a block of wood up here. Give it a few taps. Either with the wood, I'll just put the wood on there and tap it with the hammer. The hammer's over there, my fingers are greasy, but you don't want to hit it directly on the bearing because you don't want to damage the bearing. That's why blocks of wood are good. Even sometimes it's even better if you have a bearing driver to put on there, or even as long as it goes around the edge of the bearing. This bearing is set up a little bit, so you can get a socket to put on there and tap it in. But this is going in pretty easy. I'm not going to have to tap it very hard, so let me just go get a hammer to finish it off. And you'll know when the bearing's all the way down there because you'll tap it and it'll make a different sound. She's in there. I don't know if y'all could hear that different sound. Now this rim being slightly damaged is going to wear this bearing a lot quicker than it should. So I'll probably have to replace this wheel, but this is going to get me cutting grass today for $8 instead of, you know, $60. So guys, this is that shaft that goes in there. I don't know if there's supposed to have been a washer on each side when you go drop it down there. I don't think so, because the way these bearings are made, they're inset. Or they're flush on the back side, so I don't think there's going to be a washer. I am going to put a washer. If there wasn't one, I think they got eat up on the outside because it's not inset. You can see it's not flush. So I want to keep that shaft centered while I drive this next bearing in because it's a pretty tight fit. So I went ahead and put the bolt through, and I'll drop a big socket around the edge there to drive that on through. Let me go find that and we'll see what that looks like. Alright, so I just found a socket that fits and gave her taps till she was completely sunk down in there. Now this is back together. Now I just got to go back and install it on the lawnmower, which is just for that big 7/8 nut. And I'll put a thin washer on both sides. I think I said these were 7/8. That's a 15/16 actually. But I did put a washer, I don't know if you can see it, between the bearing and the arm there. It does need a washer. only because the arm is spaced out enough for a washer. So you could technically, if you were just stuck, you could pull that in with the bolt, but the problem is these would eventually touch the side of the wheel and cause some damage. So go ahead and get you some big washers. I checked the other side seems fine now. I'm going to go ahead and get the stuff to go ahead and fix it, just in case, because if this one's bad, that one's probably bad. So guys, that's some simple maintenance anyone can do with very simple hand tools. You don't have to take it to a lawnmower repair shop or anything like that. So if this helped you, please hit the like button, and I will see y'all later.